Hello guys, I hope you guys are all doing amazing. So today this video is a bit more of a personal video. I've done a few personal videos on this channel. Sivan doesn't really do them and he hasn't really joined in with me, and I've been considering making just my own separate channel for me, but we'll see about that. Today I'm just here to talk about sexual harassment and my experience with sexual harassment, and I guess yeah, just how it has affected me in my life and how it plays into who I am today, and just how I felt like I didn't get the support that I needed while it was happening, and I was more blamed for being the one at fault opposed to being the victim, and what it led to in my life. I've had a lot of people ask me if I am still living at home, like with my adopted family. I've had a lot of people ask me if I still talk to my adopted family. I have a lot of people who just are like, what are you up to? What are you doing? And in this video, I'm gonna explain it all from my side, and how I felt like things went down. It could be completely different coming from the people who were involved, but this is how I felt being the victim at the time, and how I've had to heal and grow from this whole situation. So this could be triggering to some people. I've been told it's not that big of an issue. However, to me, it really affected me, and I don't want to trigger anybody. Mental health is so important. It is so important. So if you have been sexually assaulted or know someone who has, and this is gonna affect you in a way that you don't need it to, please don't put yourself through that. You don't need to watch it. You have no obligation. This is just my story here to speak out about. So everybody who has followed me and watched some of my adoption videos, I was adopted when I was 1 into a Caucasian family, into a family that adopted other kids. So it wasn't only me, and by the time I was a teenager, there was 8 kids within the household. And I don't know about you, but if you grow up in a family with 7 siblings, the fight for attention is huge, and the fight to be noticed and the fight to have a good relationship with your parents are huge. But for me, I felt like it was even bigger because I was not a biological child, and I really felt like I didn't fit in, because alone with just not being a biological child, I also wasn't Caucasian. I wasn't white, and I felt like I wasn't seen and I wasn't heard as much as some other kids in the house, and I wasn't supported as much. From my perspective, that is how I felt. But yeah, the first time from my recollection and my memory that I didn't understand at the time that this was sexual harassment. Matter of fact, I didn't understand that I was being sexually harassed, like up until I was moved out of the house, away from the whole situation, was in school, and had a boyfriend and friends who were like, whatever went down was not right, it was not good, and you need to speak up for yourself. And so starting when I was I must have been 14 when this all started. So some may say that what happened was not very big. Some may say that what happened was not very yeah, it just wasn't even sexual harassment at all. But from my point of view, it has really affected me. And so I just want to get into it. Starting when I was about 14, I noticed a lot of my clothes went missing, and it wasn't like my normal clothes. Like at first it wasn't like shirts and stuff, it was like my bathing suits, or they were going missing, and I was finding them in places that like I didn't put them, or I hadn't even used it or taken it out of my dresser. So I was like confused why I was finding it like behind the toilet or in the bathtub or in the closet, like where all of our duvet covers and blanket covers and stuff go. But I was finding my like bathing suits in weird places around the house. I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, maybe someone did the laundry and it was just placed in the wrong place, or oh, maybe I actually accidentally put it there. I didn't know. It started getting worse. Like I started finding like bras, underwear, bathing suits, my leggings, my shirts and stuff, and just so many things were going missing. And I was noticing it because I would go to my dresser to find something and it would be gone. And I was like, this is so weird. I had a lock on my door and I locked it sometimes. However, people in the household had access to my bedroom at all times, so anybody could have been doing this. Like any of my older siblings, my parents, of course I didn't think it was my older siblings or my parents. People were going in and out of my bedroom, and sometimes we'd forget to lock the door. And for me personally, I didn't feel like I should have to lock my door at my house, because that was my house and it should be my safe place. And so I just wouldn't lock it a lot. That was like probably the worst decision of my life going forward for many years. I just had that attitude, and that ended up, pretty much causing what ended up being. But yeah, so my clothes were going missing, and as I got older, it was like more weird. Like at 14, I'm like a teenager, but I'm very new being a teenager, and to me it was kind of just like nonchalant, oh whatever, this is happening. But as I got older, like 15, 16, it started getting very, like, to me it was more of like it just wasn't okay. I didn't like what was going on. I didn't feel comfortable with someone going into my room, trying on my clothes, and then hiding them in other places. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was disgusting, and it was embarrassing because I would be missing my bras and underwear, and I'd have to go to my parents and be like, this is missing. I don't know who took it. And I would be told, oh, it probably is just in the wash, or it probably just got stuck in the laundry. And I'm like, no, like it was washed. I brought it up from the laundry. It was in my dresser, and now it's gone. Eventually, I realized who in the house was doing it. And at the time, I was like, oh, maybe this person is just going through a phase. It's gonna end. But at the time that I figured it out, because that's what like my family members were saying, is they're just going through a phase, this is gonna end, like don't worry about it, don't be too hard on them, like you just need to calm down, you're older, you are the more mature, just don't get too angry about it. Now again, at 14, 15, 16, that is what it is. I listen to the older people in my life, I take their advice, and I really try to give the people the benefit of the doubt in my household. It kept going on. I began turning 16, 17, and this was still going on. And it was going on to the point where like really expensive things were going missing. Like for us women who are always buying new bras and underwear, we all know that that stuff isn't cheap. And as a 14, 15, 16 year old, 17, 18 even, I don't have the money to be replacing this. And I was not getting enough money to be at the rate that my stuff was going missing. It was getting very awkward. I felt very, I don't know, I just felt like someone was going into my room and taking my very personal stuff and not giving a crap. They didn't care at all. This specific person who was doing it got talked to many times, and like they just kept doing it. It affected me in a way that I was nervous. I was like, is this gonna get worse? Are they gonna not want to just take my clothes? Are they gonna want to take something else? Like, what is this? Why are they taking my stuff? And at the time, they were also taking other people in the house's stuff, but it was mostly, the majority of it was mine. And I can't speak for the other people in my house because I don't want to, because they aren't very nice to me and I don't want them to get mad at me. But my stuff was going missing. My bras and underwear were going missing. It was very awkward. And then it started getting to the point where not just my bras and underwear were going missing, but I would come out of the bathroom, and this specific person whose bedroom was across from the bathroom would be like watching me every time I came out of the bathroom. Like they were watching me. They were, yeah, it was just a very uncomfortable feeling. So I started not even wanting to really go bathroom upstairs. And I actually ended up, I was the older sibling, so I was babysitting this person every now and then. And I eventually had to be like, I can't do this anymore. It's not working out. It was too hard for me. This specific person in my family was super hard on me, always yelling at me, trying to fight me, and just wasn't nice to me. And I had a lot of resentment for what this person was doing to me and my stuff within the house. And I was not getting support within the house. Like people were like, well, lock your door or you can move out. So for me, that was super hard. And I was super angry because this person was getting away with it. And for those of you who have watched my previous videos, I've had a lot of issues within my life. I've had a lot of problems. I've done a lot of damaging things, and I did not get away with it. No, I was told that I was a bad person. I would get yelled at. I would it wasn't good. And to me, I felt like it wasn't fair. It felt like I needed so much support for what was going on and no one was supporting me. So this person, like I was saying, started like watching me while I was coming out of the bathroom. At one point I was told by another family member that this person had a picture of me and was like using it for pleasure. That really creeped me out. When I brought it up with my adopted parents, I was kind of shut down and told no. Nope, like you can move out again, pretty much. I was just kind of thrown under, and I was really angry about that. I was angry about that because this had been going on for years, and it had been getting worse for years. And for someone in your house to be making you feel this way, and for someone in your house to be treating you this way and disrespecting you this way, and you to just be blamed for it and being told like you should lock your door, or you can move out of the house, or you're just overreacting, it was really hard because it was really affecting me, especially it being a family member. Some people might think like getting your clothes stolen for years by a family member is not a big deal, but I can assure you that it is like the most damaging and degrading thing ever. Knowing what they were using it for, knowing that they had some kind of session with you and other people, that they weren't just using it for good, it would genuinely make me sick to my stomach. I was disgusted. I genuinely was scared of this person in my house. I felt very uncomfortable around them. I didn't want to be around them. I didn't want other people to be around them, because this wasn't, after a while, this didn't just happen within the home. It happened, other people were victims of this family member of mine, because nobody really dealt with it how I believe it should have been dealt with. So let's bring it up to the day I left my adopted family's house. I had a lot of my own issues, and a lot of my issues stemmed from trauma that was never dealt with ever. A matter of fact, I didn't even know what trauma was or understand trauma up until I was in university. I didn't know that being adopted came with trauma, so it really helped me understand why I acted a certain way, why I did the things I did, and nobody supported me, and this was just another thing that nobody supported me with. So I threatened to go to the police about this whole situation, because there were other children in the household, and at the time I was 20, and that made sense. Yes, I can leave. It was just like I didn't want to leave. I was also in the middle of school, and so I threatened to go to the police, because I did end up getting in a bit of an argument, and it was about something else, and then this all just came out, and they pretty much were just like, no, you can get out of the house. To this day, I'm still really damaged by that decision. I'm still very hurt by how that was dealt with. I was told I can leave the house. Pretty much, they would stick up for the person who was doing whatever they were doing to me, and I could go to the police, but this person's now getting help. Now they were getting help years after, when I was kicked out. Like, they had been having him in therapy and stuff before, but it wasn't doing enough. And again, nobody was helping me. Nobody was checking out on me. Nobody really realized how this affected me. So yeah, I threatened to go to the police. I didn't end up going, because honestly, I was kicked out in the middle of winter in school. I had no money. I had no support. And word started getting around that I was just a messed up, unstable person. They didn't stick up for me, the family. They were the first people to throw me under the bus. They were the first person to really change the story, to not realize they're wrong. When honestly, I was sexually harassed for 6 years in that household, and that was a lot of damage on me. And that was the big reason why I actually ended up getting kicked out of the house, and nobody will admit it. It was the fear that I was going to go to the police and talk about what was going on, and it just wasn't good. So instead of supporting me at that time, and instead of being like, you know what, we need to figure this out, we're going to make it better and healthier for you, it was, well, you have your issues, and you've done this, and you've done that, and you've done this. So everything that I had gone through was shoved aside completely. And since I've been out of that house, which was back in January of 2018, it's just been, they've always talked about everything I've done wrong, and how whatever, if I bring up what happened, how it made me feel, I just get thrown at, well, you've done this and you've done that and you've done this and you've messed up so many relationships and you've been so hard on the family and you've damaged so many relationships and blah, 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 blah. And nothing that I have felt, nothing that I feel, nothing that I had any say in, none of my trauma or the lack of support I've gotten has even been acknowledged. It's just, you're a bad person. You've done this, you've done that. And pretty much shuts me down. When I tell them that I'm working on myself, like I said, I actually have to go to therapy for all this because I was so damaged. I was so broken. I tell them, like, I'm doing this to better myself, and I just get shut down and told, yeah, well, we still think you're bad, and we still think you're doing this, and we still think you're doing that. And like, I will be honest, I barely ever talk to my adopted family. I have a lot of forgiveness I need to heal from. I understand I'm not a perfect person, but neither are they. And it's been really hard since I've been out of their house. I have literally spent days where I have had no food to eat because I was struggling so much. I had a job and I had a lot of friends, but I wasn't making a lot. And I was living in an apartment, which was way too expensive because I was kind of kicked out in the middle of winter. So I couldn't just I lived in my car for a week. My friend let me stay at her place for a bit, but I didn't want to overstay my welcome. So I just took a place that I could just get right away, just so I could get off the streets. And it has messed up my credit for sure. It has messed up my life. It has put me on a path where I have really struggled again. And for me, I've struggled with it because this goes all the way back to my adoption story, as I was taken from a country. I had no say in being taken to the family I was taken to. And here I am. I don't even really have that family that I was taken to. I have no support from them. They say that they support me, but they don't really. They're biological kids. One of them is super nice to me and treats me amazing, but the other two treat me like probably less than trash. They treat me like I'm a nobody. They don't understand trauma. They don't understand. I really don't think they understand what it's like to be adopted. I don't think they understand much. So they just live in their little bubble of, we have our birth parents and we have issues, but we always have the support of our birth parents and we can do no wrong. So you're a bad person and we're not going to talk to you, and you need to apologize to us for everything, even though we're the ones treating you bad. And the people who were like, the person who was treating me bad within the household still gets to live at home, still gets the support of all of them, still is loved by all of them, still gets talked to. I'm sure that they go visit him if he's somewhere else. And I was just kind of pushed aside. And that has affected me a lot. But I have such a good relationship with my boyfriend, and I have such good support within my boyfriend and his family, and he's really helped me to heal from what was going on. And when we first started dating originally, he was dating me before I got kicked out or moved out, is what my adoptive parents said. So he actually witnessed a lot of the stuff that was going on at the house, a lot of the sexual harassment. A lot of the times I would call him crying, but also people told him. So this is nothing that my adopted family could deny, because a lot of my friends witnessed it, but they just won't support me in it. And honestly, the biggest reason why I never went to the police is because I don't really have evidence anymore. I've broken so many cell phones, but I used to take pictures of the piles of clothes that were stolen. So I don't have that anymore. And I just feel like I don't really have a good fight because I won't get the support that I need, and I just feel like I'll be told I'm lying. So I've never gotten to the police about it, but I do have huge rules of, in my future, this family member will never be around my children. I don't want them at my wedding. And there's they're never allowed at my house. They don't even know where I currently live, and I really didn't even want my adopted parents to know my address, but I accidentally sent something, so they got my address. So yeah, I have a lot of trust issues because of it. And it's just kind of made my life crappy. I'm lucky again that I have the support of my boyfriend, and I'm lucky that he was here to help me pull me off my feet out of the worst times of my life, living on the streets, to not even having enough money to eat for weeks on weeks. He supported me. He took me into his house. He supported me. He was there for me every step of the way, and I'm so blessed because I definitely wouldn't be where I am today, and I would never be getting through school or anything if I didn't have him in my life. But yeah, that's my story. Sorry, it was a little bit of a rabbit trail. I hope you guys are all doing good. I want everybody to know that speaking up is the right thing to do. And if you are getting sexually assaulted, harassed, or abused at your house, you need to speak up. You deserve to have your voice heard. You shouldn't be scared like I am still. Yeah, you just need to use your voice and you need to speak up so this doesn't keep happening to people. And I will, once I'm a bit more healed and I'm able to mentally prepare for what's going to happen, I will be speaking up about it and I will take it to the police. But I just want everybody else to know that you are so strong and you are so special. And if you have ever gone through this, you don't deserve it. And I wish you all the best. Bye. Thanks for listening.